Ladies and gentlemen, the show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Happy Halloween. I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. For my monster mash.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
And suddenly, to my surprise,
He did the mash.
he did the monster
The monster mash.
smash.
He did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
Tonight on the DDM Comics radio program. The latest news from the comic book industry, pull list reviews, and our picks from the long box. Don't forget our main feature. It is sure to have you huddle around your radio set all night. Stay tuned.
That's awesome.
This is episode 10. Welcome, comic book fans. This is our special Halloween episode of the DDM Comics radio program. I am Danny, and a man who needs no introduction, Mr. D. Are you there, sir?
Mr. D is present and accounted for.
Excellent. So we've been talking about the Halloween episode for a while, and one of the most exciting parts about doing this sort of thing is that you get to tie into the holidays, and that's pretty cool. So we talked about what we wanted to do for the show, and Halloween's really special to you, right?
It is. Yeah, I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday.
So what sort of stuff are we going to talk about? Halloween and comic book related.
We're going to talk about some Halloween books, obviously, like Trick or Treat. We're going to talk about
The Long Halloween, right?
Oh, right, The Long Halloween. Clive Barker's collected best Hellraiser. And in typical fashion, I lost the page.
That's cool. We also did a special commentary on Trick or Treat the movie, which will be dropping immediately after this one.
Correct. It's going to be awesome.
So we also got some rapid fire questions. And did you still want to talk about Weird Detective?
I did not finish Weird Detective yet.
Okay, then we're not going to spoil it. Okay, so I think we just jump straight into the news here. There's a couple items.
Now it is time for the news. Brought to you by...
Alright, let's talk about some comic book news brought to you by jack-o'-lanterns all across the world. So, Steve Dillon is dead.
Rest in peace.
So he is, of course, he has a pretty, what's the word I'm looking for when you can recognize somebody's art right away?
Unique?
I guess. His style, you just know it's him.
Yeah, definitely.
And what books is he famous for?
Well, he's probably most famous as the co-creator of Preacher with Garth Ennis. He's also pretty well known for some Punisher stuff. I'm trying to think of some other stuff that...
Was he the artist on that Punisher run that you had me read? The Ennis run?
Yes.
Okay.
He was.
And wasn't he the artist on the most recent Punisher run?
He was with Becky Cloonan.
Oh, I didn't research it, but I wonder what they're gonna do there.
I didn't like that one, so I haven't read it.
Yeah,
but I did pick up the Punisher Annual #1 this past week. So
I was toying with that. You'll have to let me know if it's any good.
I'll do that. I figured it was an annual, so I pick it up and flip through it if it sucked.
Can we talk about annuals for a second?
Sure.
It's kind of confusing about what they are. So these are stories that obviously are like once a year, or
Right.
is it like once every like X amount of issues?
I thought it was once a year because doesn't annual by definition suggest it's only once a year?
Yeah, but I was just thinking if they were doing something like, sometimes they do fucky things.
Oh yeah, no. I wasn't being an asshole about it. I just meant like.
But
Yeah, I agree that they're kind of what throws me off is annual #1, Because I doubt this is the first Punisher annual.
They seem to always slap a number 1 on something that's new, or maybe it's, I don't know.
Maybe that's just what they do. We should look into that. We could, I don't know, talk about it for like 2 seconds.
So
sometime.
what are annuals? They're isolated stories, right?
Right, like standalone stories. They're not tied to like the current story arc, I don't believe.
Doctor Strange just came out with one. Shocker, it wasn't that great.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Is there anything else we need to know about Steve Dillon?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
Rest in peace.
The other thing I wanted to bring up was Titan Comics created an imprint called Hard Case Crime, and these are all books that are like noir books.
Oh, cool.
And I've read the first 2. One is Peepland, and the other one is Triggerman. And
Okay.
Peepland is cool. It's obviously a murder mystery cop gig, but you know those old school like peep show booths where you can like go and like beat off and there's a girl behind the glass or whatever?
Definitely.
That's what it focuses on.
I mean, not from experience, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, she's doing her peep show thing, and this guy like runs in and gives her a tape, and it has like this murder on it that was documented or whatever. And
Like a smut film or just like a straight up murder?
I think it's more of a high level executive or a political figure that kills somebody.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And the other one was Triggerman. And have you ever seen the movie Fargo? Or not the movie, the show?
No, yeah, I watched the pilot. I didn't really like it,
It's kind of like that.
but I really like the movie. It's one of my favorites.
Triggerman is kind of like he's like a badass hitman style type of guy. And there was lots of boobs. And it's set in like the early 30s.
So you'd recommend this?
I would actually recommend both of them to be pretty cool. And if Titan Comics keeps putting out that type of titles under that imprint, it's going to be pretty neat.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for those.
They're all pretty cool. The other thing for the news was Luke Cage. Now, how many episodes of Luke Cage have you seen? Like 2 or 3 or something?
Yeah, something like that. I think we talked about Luke Cage last episode.
Did we really?
We totally did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have something we could talk about, though.
Sure.
How about people going crazy over Jeffrey Dean Morgan as, is it Negan in The Walking Dead? And, like, I guess the savage beatdown he delivered to some characters that I don't really know about because I don't watch that show, but I'm seeing, like, a shitload of memes about it, and, like, people were fucking crying about it all over the internet the night it happened. It's cool that people connect when you get into shows, but people just get crazy with it sometimes. It's kind of funny.
Well, I think especially when like a loved character dies. Like I read an article about it, and geez, I guess we can't have any spoilers, right? We don't want them to torch and pitchfork us to death.
Right.
But I mean, I get it. You've been following the show for a long time. You're invested in these characters, and then they die, and it's like you've taken that from me. You assaulted my emotional
bond
fortress or whatever.
They were mine.
You broke down the walls, man. I think that's about it for the news.
Yeah, I think so too.
People just need to chill out about the Walking Dead stuff, because you know what? Next year there's going to be another show. This is what made Game of Thrones so great. They killed people so friggin' much that there just couldn't be any drama like that. You just couldn't get attached to anybody because they would probably be dead the next episode.
Yeah, it's true, but somehow he still manages to get you attached to characters.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got some books I want to address, if that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
New and notable books. Fresh off the poll list, let's talk about what is new and noteworthy in the world of comics.
So, this last week... Oh, go ahead. Did you have something?
I wonder what it's like to have a conversation with the guy who did our voice stuff.
I imagine...
Like, does
You can have whatever kind of conversation you want if you're paying.
Yeah. It's just that voice is so weird. I wonder if like he ever talks to people like that completely.
Probably just to mess with them, especially
Right.
like if you're a telemarketer and you call that guy's house.
That's funny. Yeah, good point.
You're getting a new person every time.
That's true. Anyway, go on.
Sure. The main thing I wanted to bring up was the Vision has ended. Issue number 12 came out on Wednesday. I read it. It's just as good as issue 1. I mean, this entire series has just been gold from the beginning, and I think in the end, if Tom King does nothing better than this, it'll be one of his legacy titles. It's just so great.
Nice. I have the first trade. Still haven't really read it, but I'll pick up the second one when it comes out and hopefully read them like quick.
It's just so weird because it tugs at you from just different angles. Anyway, totally recommended. You should all finish that or pick up the trades. I'm sure they'll release like a monster one that completes all 12 issues.
Might just hold out for that.
That might be the way to go. And then the way I've been doing is I like read my stack of books. I don't do anything, and then I leave, and then I grab the books and I like rifle through them real fast, and then write my thoughts about each one as I go. So I have a giant list here, but I've only highlighted a couple that I wanted to address really fast. Red Hood and the Outlaws, 2 and 3, it's still pretty neat. Bizarro's now on the scene, and the Amazon is a thing, and Jason Todd is still a pretty cool character. Night of the Monster Men, which is the Batman Nightwing Detective Comics storyline, is over finally, and everybody's pretty happy. Batman number 9 is Batman starting to form his own Suicide Squad. So he goes into Arkham Asylum and starts like cherry picking different villains, and the last one is like Catwoman. And let's move to Marvel here. Marvel Champions number 1. This is like the younger Marvel crowd, I guess, some of the Avengers, and they're putting together their own team. It's Vision, Nova, Amadeus Cho, who's like the new Hulk. There's a Cyclops kid, I don't know his name, maybe he's just Cyclops, and they're forming a team outside of the Avengers. It's not super great, but it could be neat. The Death of X is the X-Men short, what the heck's the word I'm looking for? Miniseries. Where they're doing like 4 or 5 issues, and it's all about the mutants versus the Inhumans, and the Terrigen Mist killing the mutants and giving them some disease that I can't remember the name of. And Cyclops does a really cool thing, and he hacks in with these 2 other mutant, I can't remember their name, but he's able to actually talk to every single person on Earth at the same time. Like, hacks into their brain and basically declares war on the Inhumans. So now everybody's like freaked out.
Wow, that's heavy.
Yeah. And Invincible Iron Man number 14 is the last issue. And this was probably the best issue of Iron Man that I've ever read. There's no superhero shit. It's all Tony Stark and Carol Danvers all at an AA meeting, because Tony Stark is Carol Danvers' sponsor. And they just talk to each other like humans. And it deals with a lot of the internal struggles of like addiction, and then it all ties into the Civil War stuff. So that was really well executed.
Interesting.
Infamous Iron Man is weird. Doctor Doom is now in Iron Man armor to...
It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. They've run through that whole storyline of Doctor Doom like he's trying to like make amends for all the bad shit he's done. Black Hammer number 4. Did you read that yet? If not, I'm not going to say anything.
No, not yet.
Okay. It's basically learning more about Abraham Slam and his history.
It's actually at the top of my stack.
And his girlfriend comes over for dinner, and it's pretty
Oh,
good.
Finally.
Yeah.
Nice.
Peepland, we talked about Triggerman already. Angel City number 1 is kind of cartoony, but this girl goes to Hollywood to be an actress. She ends up being this badass muscle for organized crime syndicate and one of their top like guns, basically. It's pretty cool. Big Trouble in Little China was awesome. If you haven't got to that, you certainly should. Killer Be Killed #3 continues to be pretty cool. And Black Monday Murders I'm still sticking with, and Weird Detective we'll discuss at another time. Cool. That's all I wanted to get with that.
Okie dokie.
All right. Let's talk about Trick or Treat. You want to talk about Trick or Treat?
Yeah, let's talk about Trick or Treat.
All right. So Trick or Treat is a movie that had a comic book after it.
Right. Which is funny because for the longest time I thought it was vice versa. I thought the comic came first, but then upon doing a little research, I actually realized that the movie came out first.
So Trick or Treat is a collection of different stories that all kind of tie together.
An anthology is what it's called, yep.
Right.
5 stories, actually.
5, okay. So so the first one is, what, the couple?
Yeah, the couple. So basically the idea is that the husband is obsessed with Halloween and the wife is not.
Okay.
So she kind of puts up with it, and then I'm not really sure why she gets killed. It never really explains that.
I think Trick or Treat did that a lot.
It did, yeah, for sure. And then let's see, what was the next one?
Was it the Wolf Girls?
No, it was the principal.
Oh yeah.
So then we come to the principal, Mr. Stephen Wilkins. He's like the town principal, typical white shirt and tie, glasses looking principal. Turns out to be a serial killer. Kills a neighborhood fat kid.
Gives him like poison candy, right?
Yeah, dude, and then cuts his head off and like takes it downstairs to carve up with his kid.
God damn, dude.
Savagery.
That was reminding me of that movie. Is it 7? The Deadly Sins?
Yeah,
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, for sure.
So they just ran through like all of those real quick.
Right. And then I think it was the surprise party. So you have what, 4? Is it 4 or 3? No, 4. College co-eds.
Oh, right.
Like all pretty hot, right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I mean, especially in the movie versus the comic.
Right.
But they're typical of college co-eds, getting some sexy costumes for Halloween, and then
looking to get turned up.
Right, exactly. Looking to have a lit time, as they say. And find some dates. Unbeknownst to the dates, they're going to a party in the woods with...
Which, I mean, normally if you go to a party in the woods with hot chicks, usually it doesn't turn out super horrible, especially if you're the dude.
I would say it probably does result in a lit time. But in this case, it turns out that there's these women are werewolves. And they're having some blood ritual kind of sacrifice, I don't know, feeding thing.
They're really looking
it's not explained.
I think there's a lot of stuff that's not really explained.
But who turns up there but our friend Stephen Wilkins, who previously attempted to rape and kill some young girl in the...
But she was the werewolf, right?
In the alley. No, remember at the beginning?
Oh.
The guy is like holding her against the wall in the alley. That was him.
I think I didn't make the connection that it was him until we saw the movie.
Fair enough.
Things kind of fell into place after that.
Anyway, he gets fucked up.
Yeah, he does. And then there's after that, it's what the kids.
The Halloween school bus massacre.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, right.
So what happens on the bus?
So there's a legend, I guess,
right?
And it turns out to be true, as you find out later. That some parents in the local community had special children, and they paid the bus driver to basically kill all the children by driving the bus off into an abandoned rock quarry. He had chained the kids into the bus and then all given them some Halloween candy before driving off the cliff and abandoning the
just
buzz.
a real stellar individual.
Yeah, like moral compass is like dialed 100%. And that guy's name is Krieg.
Krieg.
Yeah, he's like which we find out in the final story that he's like the neighborhood crotchety anti-Halloween asshole.
Right.
Well, Sam, which is call him the main character, the little boy in the PJs with the burlap sack head.
Right.
Shows up to Krieg's house to fuck him up.
And Sam kills the wife in the first story.
He does.
And his weapon of choice is what?
His sucker again. It's always a sucker.
He bites it in half, and it's all like jaggy and stuff.
For sure, and then he uses it like a fucking knife.
And I'm pretty sure everybody's had the experience of being shanked by a candy sucker. Even like, did you ever like push pops?
Push pops?
Those, they're like little.
Is that the ice cream with sherbet?
I think there was a version like that, but I'm talking about the hard candy. It was like a yellow tube. You could push your finger in the bottom and push up this like.
Oh, kind of looked like a tube of lipstick.
Yeah, and you could like.
Yeah, totally. It had like a red top.
Yeah, you could like fillet it until it turned into like a prison shiv.
Yeah, dude, it would be hella sharp, and you poke your friend in the arm with it or something.
And you could like suck in like the part and like blow it out real fast, and it would like be like super dangerous.
Like fucking stab them. Yeah, dude, that's funny as hell.
Anyway, the important thing here is that everyone has an experience of being sliced with candy. If it was a push pop that stabbed you in the cheek, or a sharp fucking lollipop.
Oh man,
that shit is dangerous.
Yeah, dude, it's no bullshit.
And nowadays, push pops are spring loaded, so they don't fuck around. Yeah, you don't even have to work anymore. It just does it for you.
Oh fuck, man, you could fuck some. Kids are not taking advantage of that these days. They're too busy playing with their iPhones and iPads.
Do you remember Elvira?
Hell yeah, I love Elvira.
With her giant titties and that fake knife that's all spring-loaded. It's basically like that.
And I've met Elvira. She's a sweetheart.
Really? That's cool. Was it like a con or something?
It was at a horror convention. Mm-hmm.
Did she are her boobs as big as in the show?
Oh, yeah.
And the movie and stuff?
Yeah, dude.
Sweet.
Elvira, she'd get it.
She's got to be super old now.
63, doesn't matter. She doesn't look super old.
That's cool.
Age is just a number with Elvira.
So she did a movie and a show?
Yeah. She did a couple movies at least. And then last year she did a 13 Days of Halloween, where she hosted schlocky B horror movies on Hulu for 13 days.
Oh, dude, that's your jam.
Yeah, it was good. I've seen all the movies, and I watched all of them not last year, the year before, I'm sorry. So it was released in 2014. I watched it all. Last year, I watched a couple of them. This year, I started to watch one, and then I got busy, so
And what did she do? Just talked about the movie, and then now we're going to watch it.
Yeah, pretty much. She'd make sexy jokes or fucking dirty jokes and shit like that, and typical Elvira fashion.
Asia Carrera does something similar in one of her films.
Oh, nice. Before taking 8 cocks.
And then playing the piano.
Right.
All right. Let's see. So,
what did you think of Trick or Treat? Because you'd never heard of it, really.
No, I had never heard of it at all. And I read the comic first before seeing the movie. And I thought it was really... It was easy to follow, and it didn't really bother me that there was so much open-ended stuff. It almost became like a Where's Waldo book, because in the comic, there's all these stories that are all being tied together, but they're not specifically interacting with each other all the time. So you'd have one panel of say the kids collecting pumpkins walking down the street, but then you'd see that couple from the beginning walking past them.
Yep.
Or you would see the principal doing whatever in another panel in another story.
I guess those are Easter eggs, right?
I guess. I don't know. It became pretty fun though to just be oh yeah, I know those guys. And then you slowly start to understand that this is all kind of happening asynchronously.
Definitely.
Which is really difficult to do in stories, and you don't see it very often.
I think maybe the reason it worked so well is because they had done it on film already.
Yeah. So, like, all the work was done.
Right, pretty much.
And so that town that they're in, what's the name of it? I don't remember.
I don't know, yeah.
But the whole setting for the story is this town that has, like, this crazy Halloween festival, and they're all obsessed with it.
Yeah, but the neighborhoods are like Haddonfield from Halloween. They're like the long, typical suburban neighborhoods.
It's fucking Mayberry out there.
Yeah, exactly.
The books were great. The movie was pretty good. Did you read I didn't actually read Days of the Dead, did you?
Yeah. I didn't. So, Days of the Dead was another anthology. This was like an old-timey anthology, though.
But still called Trick or Treat Days of the Dead? Okay.
Exactly. And it's got 4 stories, I think it was. Let's see. Yeah. The first one is like in the 1600s. It's got to do with some like star-crossed lovers during like a witch hunt. It's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet type thing.
Okay. Seems weird.
Yeah. Then there was the Corn Maiden, which has to do with like a family travel or a young girl traveling with her father, who's like leading a group of people following a railroad. I don't know. I was reading it and I'm like, what is this crap?
So it just didn't like just crawl through history or something.
Yeah, it didn't do it for me. It was kind of like a. Yeah, it went from like the 1600s to the 1800s to the 1900s, and then like modern time.
Oh, okay.
The next story was like a horror noir, which was like a detective case who's like following a missing a missing woman case having to do with like supernatural shit and a serial killer, which was kind of cool. But
the rest of it was place like the early
50s.
Oh, 50s, okay.
Yeah, 1950s. And then there was the last one, the Monster Mash. That one's the good one too. I don't want to spoil that one. I think.
Okay.
But it wasn't that good. I'd like to see it as a movie actually, if they're gonna do it. But I don't think it would translate well into a movie because of the gap in history so well. It wouldn't have that magic that the first one has.
Yeah.
Where you mentioned like seeing, like the couple walking, or you see the principal and other stories, and they're not necessarily interacting with each other, but they clearly have an active part in the storyline in several cases. I don't think that would work across history like they did it in the graphic novel. The only thing that really tied it together was Sam.
Let's talk about what could make it work. Let's go hypothetical for a minute.
Okay.
If Bill and Ted were part of this story with their phone booth and had to do a history report on Halloween, could it work on the big screen?
Huh.
Could the Wild Stallions tie it together?
I think that the Wild Stallions could probably tie it together, yeah.
I love that movie so much.
Oh, yeah, me too. I haven't watched it in a while, but it came out on Blu-ray a little bit ago, and I really wanted to get it, and I just never got around to picking it up. But
and I think they've had, like, several comic book spin-offs, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I've never read any myself, but I definitely know they exist. Do you want to do rapid-fire questions now?
Yeah, sure.
And then come back and I'll talk about the Hellraiser book real quick or something.
Yeah. I don't have a thing for rapid fire. All right, rapid fire questions. Why don't you just tell them how it works?
All right. So, Danny and I are going to fire off 10 questions to each other, and we're going to answer with basically, the first thing that what comes to our mind, our heads, right?
Yeah. Just whatever pops in.
Yeah. We've not seen each other's questions, so I think mine are all Halloween or horror related since tis the season.
Tis
I
the
think-
season to be Halloween.
Yeah, pretty much. Halloweeny.
Mine are also Halloween related.
All right.
Do you want to start, or I'll start, or?
Sure, I'll start.
All right.
Okay.
Let me have it.
If you had to fight Pumpkinhead for Castle Grayskull, who would you pick as your partner? Pamela Voorhees, Edward Scissorhands, or the clown from Poltergeist?
God, I can't even remember a clown in Poltergeist.
Oh, really? Yeah, he wraps his fucking arm around the kid and pulls him under the bed at the end.
Oh, okay. That was because in Scary Movie they did it with a giant black cock there.
Yeah, dude, they totally did that. And you remember one of the Wayans brothers? He fucked the clown.
Oh man, yeah. Anyway, Edward Scissorhands.
Okay.
Just because nobody's touching that guy.
True.
If you had to go to the Playboy Mansion for a Halloween costume party, who would you go as?
Judge Dredd.
Nice.
If you couldn't hand out candy to trick-or-treaters, what would you give them instead?
Fortune cookies.
Nice.
But with
That's
with
awesome.
fucked up fortunes inside.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like a Zoltar machine of the damned. Just
that's fucking
you're gonna
great.
die tomorrow. What is your top 3 favorite Halloween candies that do not contain chocolate?
Top 3. Okay. Skittles. Sour Patch Kids.
Nice.
Fuck. What the hell? Shit. Mike and Ike's, maybe?
Mike and Ike's, dude, that is old school.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm like, fuck. Candies that don't contain chocolates?
What's that purple candy that's like purple and white? What are
Oh,
those
Good
called?
and Plenty's nasty.
It's like, get your Mike and Ike's and Good and Plenty's goodie bag.
Oh, nasty.
All right. How long would you last in a slasher movie?
I'd last long. I've seen enough slasher movies. There's no fucking way I'm sticking around and fucking running upstairs and I'm not fucking in the woods.
You got strats.
Yeah, dude, I'm yeah, that's not happening.
All right.
When you were a kid, what were you most scared of, like, let's say monster-wise?
Monster-wise, the scariest thing I ever saw when I was a kid, and that I was the most scared of, and that has affected me to this day, was Time magazine had a giant Frankenstein face on the front of it, like 25 years ago. My parents left it on the fireplace mantle, and I came across it, and that scarred me for life.
Have you seen Frankenstein?
Yeah.
You hadn't at
Like,
the time,
there's-
though.
No, I was really young. I must have been 5 or 6.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So I picked it up, and it was who played old school Frankenstein? Karloff?
He did. Boris
Yeah.
Karloff.
So it was his rendition, and it was just the entire magazine cover was a face. And from that point forward, deformed humanoids or anything that looks like a human that's supposed to be scary just fucks me up. Can't do it.
Oh, that's funny. Fair
All right.
enough.
That's funny because I have a question like that for you. All right. Question number 4: Who spiked the punch bowl?
Batman.
Why would Batman spike the punch bowl?
I don't know. That's just
All right.
that's just the first thing that popped in my head.
Fucking Batman.
The trickster. If you had to be a werewolf or a vampire, which would you rather be and why?
Probably a vampire because, I mean, they both present specific challenges in managing life. But I would say a vampire because I would mostly always be in control.
Okay.
And if I was a werewolf, shit would go down and I could probably get murdered and I wouldn't even remember. Well, I'd be dead, of course, but you're just not in control when you're in that mode, you know?
True. Good call.
And plus, I really like the movie Interview with the Vampire. I tried
Okay.
to read the book, but it was shit.
Yo, readings for fools.
Yeah. Question number 5. Scariest monster when you were a kid?
Scariest monster when I was a kid. Reagan from The Exorcist. I had nightmares.
That's the little girl, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And also Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Oh, yeah, he was fun, man.
However, I have a hilarious story about that.
Okay.
Texas Frightmare Weekend 2007. I'm sitting in the bar with my buddy, and we're having a drink before I get on my flight, and I see Doug Bradley sitting at the table who played Pinhead. I talked to him and several times and taken photos with him over the weekend, and I just wanted to go say, you know, it was nice meeting him kind of thing, shake his hand.
Mm-hmm.
So he stands up, and I'm like, you know, it was great to meet you. I shake his hand, and I guess he felt that my grip was too strong, because he goes, ow, like very gay and British, and like shaking his hand, like shaking the pain out of his hand in front of him. And like, I couldn't help but laugh, and my buddy couldn't help but laugh, because it's like that guy used to haunt my dreams as a kid, and I broke Pinhead. And then I had him record I Am Pain on my phone, and that was my text notification for like years.
That's awesome. So did it change? Like, how did you feel? Like, did it do something inside of you to make it not as scary?
No, I had been over my fear of Pinhead for years. But as a kid, he freaked me out, and The Exorcist still fucking creeps me out. Like, I don't watch that movie in the pitch dark. It just fucking gives me the heebie-jeebies still. Kind of like the Babadook.
What is the Babadook?
Oh, it's a great expressionist style horror movie out of New Zealand, I believe. It came out a couple of years ago.
Okay.
It was on Netflix. It probably still is. You should definitely seek that out. Watch that in the dark.
Okay. I'll have myself a Kiwi Halloween.
Expressionist uses like shadows and figures
that's
versus like monsters and gore and fucking stuff like that. Yeah, dude. I love it. I watch it. It fucking creeps me out every time.
The scariest mechanisms in movies for instilling fear in me personally is that when they turn on the light from the dark and there's some shit there, and then they turn it off or whatever and it's gone, and maybe it like starts coming closer every time the light comes on. I can't stand that shit. Mirrors, I usually shut my eyes, and I just like can't. If anybody's standing in a mirror, I'm like, this is bad. This is bad. All right. I think it's your turn.
Oh, if you could pick any band to headline at your Halloween party, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm pretty sure that's a no-brainer for me. I would bring Alice Cooper.
Nice. That's a good choice.
Yeah. Alice Cooper, or I don't know, maybe one of those crazy like goth death metal bands that they have in Europe.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right. Number 6. What is the best jack-o'-lantern face to carve?
Oh, the best jack-o'-lantern face to carve.
Maybe not. I don't know. Best, like your favorite, maybe.
Every year, I like to carve a different one.
Now, do you do the whole I'm making a hole in the pumpkin, or do you do like the shave thing where you make an image on the outside?
No, I do the whole clean the pumpkin's guts out and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I never really thought about that question, and to be honest, I can't remember all of the ones I've done over the years, but that's like a big thing. Like, we love doing pumpkins.
Did you do any yet? This year?
No, we're doing them either this afternoon or tomorrow.
Oh, we're doing ours tonight.
Nice. We got each of our pumpkins weighs 52 pounds.
God damn, dude.
So I'm looking for it. I never carved a pumpkin that big before. I'm looking to do like a pretty cool design. Nothing too intricate, but something like pretty big so that it uses up like a decent amount of surface space. But I love carving pumpkins. That's one of my favorite parts of Halloween.
I think I'm going to try to do a Batman face somehow.
Oh, okay, that's one that I did do. Not a face, but I've done like the bat symbol before.
Oh, okay.
When I couldn't...
Did you use a template or did you draw it?
No, I freehanded it. Yeah, nice. I just used like a Sharpie. Because it's so easy.
That's the way to go.
But I usually use like some kind of template. Like over the years, I've subscribed to like pumpkin template websites to get like templates. Because usually like there's this one website where you can pay them like $5 and you can get like 5 designs or something.
Oh, that's cool.
So I would do that for like the family, and then whatever, it's fun.
I thought you
love
were going to
doing
say
pumpkins.
a magazine. Like, I'm an avid subscriber to Jack-O-Lantern Quarterly.
Oh yes, definitely.
Fucking Pumpkin Digest.
Jack-O-Lantern Masters International.
All right, I think it's your turn.
When you were a kid trick-or-treating, what was your favorite and least favorite candies to get?
Favorite candy, and I'm pretty sure I speak for all children, is king size anything.
Agreed.
I really liked Kit Kats, and anything that was like crunchy like that. Crunch bars specifically were awesome.
Okay.
My least favorite, there's always some asshole that like dishes out like those fucking like free peppermints that you can get at like
Yeah, dude. Or
that they always
those,
have like in a bowl at like a Chinese restaurant. It's always like old.
or like those fruit candies or those butterscotch candies. You're
Oh,
like, what
butterscotch,
Are
I
you, dude?
hate that.
200 years old?
I like the strawberry ones, but I can't stand butterscotch.
Yeah, but the strawberry ones are fine. But as a kid, did you want those fucking strawberry candies?
Not as much as king size.
Right. Oh, your turn.
All right. If Ghostbusters were remade to your own vision, what would be the ideal ghostly villain for the crew to face?
Oh,
It doesn't have to be an existing one.
they would. I'd want them to fight Samhain, which is spelled Sam Hain for anybody who's wondering what the fuck I'm talking about. He's the big pumpkin-headed ghoul from the Real Ghostbusters cartoon series.
Okay.
He was a fucking sick villain, and they fought him for like a while. He would break out of the containment thing, as I remember, and
That's cool.
yeah, that guy he'd be awesome.
All right.
If you could remake any scary movie to your own vision, what would it be? And that I didn't have it to your own vision. I just added that because you just said it.
Okay.
I actually had that question up next.
To my own vision, what would it be? Do the Saw movies count? I really like Saw.
Sure.
I used to, every time a Saw movie came out, I would go see it. Like on the first day. I really loved that sick, twisted. I don't know.
I thought the first 3 really good. I'm still on the first 3.
I would. Man, this is a difficult question. Can you read it to me again?
Yes. If you could remake any horror movie or scary movie in your own vision, what would you remake?
You know, I would probably... No, I know. I would do a new Pet Cemetery, but it would be like all modernized in super suburbia style.
Okay. Nice.
And it would be like the first pet that comes back to life would be like some nasty fucking chihuahua from some rich lady. And it, like kills
like a
her.
diamond collar.
Kills her in her sleep or something.
Nice.
All right, there we go. What is the most frightening household appliance if it became sentient and out for blood?
Household appliance, sentient, out for blood. My chainsaw would be pretty scary. Is that a household item?
I don't think that counts.
Okay. Household item. So inside the house.
Yeah.
Well, we have one of those, whatchamacallits, those, like, electric knives.
Oh, yeah, that would be brutal.
Yeah, dude.
Fucking carver.
Or food processor.
Even like a slap chop.
Yeah, dude. It just fucking starts slapping incessantly, like... You're like fucking trying to hit it with a broom and shit.
Who's that idiot that sells it? Vince something.
Yeah, I don't know that dude's name.
You just wake up and it's like in front of your face.
That dude's retarded though.
All right.
Who is a better Dracula, Bela Lugosi or Christopher Lee? Or do you know enough about either one of them to say?
What was the storyline in Christopher Lee's Dracula? Like, was it a movie? It was a movie, yeah?
Yeah, it's called Horror of Dracula.
Shh, I don't think I've seen it.
Okay,
I
well, never
can't
mind.
say. We'll have to say Mr. Lugosi, I've seen that.
Okay, then how about, who's your favorite Universal monster?
My favorite Universal monster?
Yeah, that was Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Mummy, Invisible Man.
Probably Dracula, just because I'm a huge fan of the Bram Stoker book.
Okay.
It really influenced a lot of my own personal writing and stuff and the way I thought.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I really like it.
Okay.
Have you personally participated in any ritualistic sacrifice that wasn't a marijuana-encouraged murder of a fresh pizza?
I have never participated in any sort of ritualistic sacrifices in any capacity.
Just in case you had, people gotta know this shit.
Right,
It's
definitely.
not something you just want to come out in passing like you're in the elevator. It's like, oh yeah, sacrificed a guy, it was cool. All right.
Okay, so here's the last fucked up one.
Oh god.
So you've got Frankenstein's monster, Wolfman, and Dracula. You have to befriend one, you have to fight one, and you have to blow one. Go.
Oh.
Let's save the best for last.
I gotta fight, blow, and what's the other one?
Be friends with one.
Oh, I would be friends with Dracula.
Figures.
I would fight Frankenstein,
Oh,
and I would blow the Wolfman just because it would be not a lot of work. Dogs, they just get in there and just wait.
Oh, dude.
So I'd be saving my jaw muscles, and I could try to be somewhere else.
Oh, that's great.
That just puke my guts up later in therapy.
Yeah, dude.
But I would have to. There'd be like fucking hair in my teeth and stuff. Ugh.
Oh my god! And he'd be like, he'd start skull fucking you.
No, he's a dog. He just
Now
sits
he's
there.
a werewolf, though.
I'm hoping he's a nice. He's a gentle soul. You get fucking claw marks on the back of my head. That would be horrible. Dude. Okay. Last question. If you could summon the ghost of any historical figure to have dinner with on Halloween night, who are you picking this year and why?
I'm picking Vincent Price because he is the master of classic horror, which is my favorite, I guess, era. He's got the voice. He's got the look. He would be the ultimate host for dinner on Halloween night. If you've seen House on Haunted Hill or really anything with Vincent Price, he would be my number one choice.
That would be cool. All right.
Okay, so that was our rapid fire.
That
was a lot of fun.
That was pretty funny. Let's see. What else did we want to talk about here? Let's just talk about the Long Halloween for a second.
Yeah, please.
So this is one of the old school Batman stories that sort of takes place while Batman is still new being Batman. So there was Batman Year One, which was Batman's first year as Batman. I haven't read it, but I know this takes place sort of really close to that universe.
Mm-hmm.
And it continues the story. It shares some of the same characters, like the villain. Anyway, the story centers around a killer that no one knows who they are, called Holiday. And Holiday he starts making hits towards this specific crime family, and taking down some of Gotham's notorious villains or whatever. And he only murders them on holidays. So you have the Halloween's the first one, and then the next one, it might have been Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then Valentine's Day, April Fool's Day, shit like that. And this goes on for an entire year. On every major holiday, Holiday kills somebody. And he uses the same method every time. He uses a .22 pistol with all the numbers shaved off. And so you got Batman. It's classic Batman actually being a detective for once, trying to like solve a mystery and not try to inflict his dogmatic views on the world.
Right.
And at one point the Joker gets mad because Holiday's like taking away his thunder, so he sets out to get him too. And there's a pretty cool twist at the end. Harvey Dent's a big part of the story. His family's a big part of the story. And it was really, really cool. Because every issue, there's like 13 issues in the series. And every one like centered around one of the killings and Batman trying to put it all together. And it goes all the way up until Halloween to Halloween. And that's why it's called The Long Halloween. And
that sounds awesome.
It was actually really neat. I liked it. It wasn't like over the top gory or anything like that. There wasn't like filler. It was just straight. This is the plot we're working through, and
nice.
Like every page was important. Catwoman's a big part of it. Although I don't know, I take that back. Catwoman was kind of an annoying character, but it was still really, really awesome. And it makes me want to read Batman Year One, just to see what that was like.
I have Batman Year One. I traded for it.
Have you flipped through it at all?
Ages ago, like years, probably. I don't know, maybe 10. I have that big, like I said, I have that huge Rubbermaid tub of trades, and that's one of the ones that's in there for sure. I remember seeing it.
Cool.
So going back to the theme of books, there was another trade that I flipped through called the Hellraiser Collected Best, which is based on Clive Barker's Hellraiser series, which I referenced a little bit when I was talking about Doug Bradley and my fear of Pinhead as a child.
And those are movies, right?
That's correct. Yeah, there's I don't know. There's got to be like 6 or 7 right now, but
has he done all of them? No way.
No. Only the first one is good. The rest are shit. This trade though has the names Barker, Gaiman, and Ross on the spine, just to denote Clive Barker, Neil Gaiman, and Alex Ross.
Oh, dude, that's got to be awesome.
Their contributions. Yeah, it's really good. I didn't get a chance to read as much as I wanted to, but I really liked Neil Gaiman's story. It was kind of short and sweet. In typical Neil Gaiman fashion, though, a bit long, and there's a lot of words and not a lot of action going on.
Yeah.
The Barker story was interesting with the flies or whatever they were, but
so they each did different ones.
Yeah, there's actually 12 stories in here.
Okay.
And there's several contributors to include Neil Gaiman, as mentioned before, Alex Ross, Clive Barker, Mike Mignola, and then a whole host of others. This is a good trade. I have no idea where I picked it up. I've had it for ages. Probably eBay or something like that, but I would recommend anybody interested in the Hellraiser series to check this out. I'm gonna flip through it some more.
How do I find it? What's it called?
Hellraiser Collected Best.
Oh, Hellraiser Collected Best. I'm just gonna type it in here so I can see what the cover looks like.
Has some super sick art in it. Like you could just flip through that book and look at the pictures. There's only one sequence that's like kind of shitty.
Wow,
or one
like
story.
There's a few volumes.
Oh, okay.
So do you have like a giant one or like volume 1 or something? What's on the cover of yours?
Female Cenobite with her back turned.
Yeah, that's volume 1.
Okay.
Cool. Wow, there's a ton of these.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'd recommend checking it out.
And Alex Ross, did you read his story?
I did not.
Okay.
I'm going to though. I actually have a bookmark in the book.
Cool. I've been working through Kingdom Come, so
nice. Yeah, trades. I don't like I kind of treat trades like novels. When I read them, I just kind of flip through them like casually. Whereas when you read a comic, you're kind of reading with the goal of finishing it. Mm-hmm. I mean, not so much the goal, but you typically read a comic book in one session. That's what I mean to say.
If it's a floppy one, yeah.
Right, exactly. So with trades, I typically read them like a few pages here and there.
So are you, was that the last book you want to talk about?
Yeah, Halloween? That's the last book I want to talk about for Halloween.
Cool. Well, I think that's all we had.
Well, yeah, I think so. Unless there's anything you can think of that.
I mean, it's Halloween. Comics are a great medium for tying into a holiday like that.
Definitely.
I would say there's more Halloween tie-ins to comic books than like any other holiday.
Definitely, and that definitely. I said that word too many times.
Definitely.
I think that has to do with the lore behind Halloween and the macabre that draws people to those stories, just like it does on film or other entertainment mediums.
And it's all naturally full of villains.
It is. Almost exclusively full of villains. I don't know of any Halloween heroes, do you?
Well, I don't know. Jack Skellington. Does he count?
I guess,
Nightmare movie, he's like an anti-hero, I guess.
Yeah. Bone Daddy.
So would you consider that a Halloween movie or more of a Christmas movie?
Both. I watch it on Halloween and on Christmas. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites.
It's pretty cool.
James watched it with us, and well, I mean, you know, like babies do, and he was laughing at the music. He really liked dancing. He liked it. He twerks. Awesome. It's kind of disturbing.
He twerks.
Nobody twerks in this house. I don't know where he learned that, but he puts his hand on the hands on the couch, and that diaper butt starts bouncing, and I'm like, oh my god.
Makes it scrub the ground.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like,
maybe he got into your iPod and started listening to like Too Short or something.
Oh yeah, definitely. So on the topic of Halloween, though,
sure.
As an adult, do you have any Halloween traditions? Anything that you're starting to do with the family? Things you're looking forward to outside of the standard trick or treating norm?
I'm one of the things I'm really big into sort of like the pagan history and all of that stuff. So I've been looking for like ways to incorporate some of that into Halloween. But no, we haven't really established anything out of the norm. I wish we would.
Fair enough.
What do you guys do that's out of the norm?
I don't know that we do anything out of the norm. We like to do a Halloween party, which we're foregoing this year, mainly because we haven't made that many friends yet. With James being so young, we've been kind of busy with the baby, and work keeps me busy, and so that's actually, jokingly, we said that was our New Year's resolution, to make a few friends so that we can actually have enough people to facilitate a Halloween party.
Well, there you go.
We like to do the typical pumpkin carving, watch movies on Halloween night, trick-or-treating. Nothing crazy. But we decorate the house.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's
like right now there's decorate. There's like a decapitated hand in the fruit bowl right now. A skull on the dining room table.
That's awesome.
And there's a lot more decorations that are going to be rolled out this afternoon.
So, let's talk about food for a second. Halloween food. Now,
okay.
Because our podcast is about cooking, do you have like a weak stomach when people make food that looks fucked up? Can you eat it? Like if it's like eyeballs or whatever, but it's really like Jello.
Yeah, dude, I can eat that. That doesn't bother me.
Oh, I can't.
I could probably eat eyeballs if somebody was like, "Hey, those eyeballs are delicious." I'll try one.
It's so weird, like the connection between your vision and food and your expectations and how it changes how you experience it.
Sure.
True Blood started making their own like orange soda or whatever, but it was in bottles that look like True Blood, which is a synthetic blood that the vampires drink in the show, in the books. And you could buy it, like a case of it. So I bought a case of True Blood because I was a big fan. And it was warm. And I open it and I go to take a drink and my brain is expecting blood. And like that is exactly, it just freaked me out. I couldn't drink anymore. Maybe if it wasn't warm, because it was warm and I was like, oh god, it's blood.
Dude, why would you drink it warm? You just couldn't wait?
Dude, I was all about the show back then.
Oh, that's funny. What year was that?
Oh god, that had to have been like 8 years ago or something like that.
Dang.
A long time ago.
Funny.
But yeah, I can't. I usually don't do any messed up food stuff that looks like other things.
Yeah, I'll try all those things. I don't care.
You're like fucking Bear Grylls. Would you eat bugs and stuff? Have you eaten any bugs?
Yeah, I've eaten bugs.
Ugh, I can't do that.
I'll eat anything pretty much once. The only thing, honestly, I'm not interested in eating is something's testicles. I just not interested in eating anything's dick or balls. It's just, yeah, I'm good. But I'll try anything else pretty much.
Well, okay. Well, speaking of that, let's go back to your rapid fire question, the last one. Do you have an answer for that? I mean, you had to have thought about it, right?
Yeah. No, I didn't really think about it, to be honest.
Well, let's flip the script. I'd like to hear what your answer is.
Oh,
As
fuck.
I'm hawking up hairballs over here.
Oh, God. Okay, so let's see. I gotta be friends with one. Fuck. All right, I'm gonna be friends with the Wolfman. I'm gonna fight Frankenstein's monster because he's kind of big and clunky. Like,
Yeah.
I could definitely like go around him and like take him out at the knees.
Oh, sure.
And I'm gonna blow up Dracula. Not because I want to, but I had to pick the best of that group, and Dracula at least is like pretty suave and has like good taste in clothing. So
He'd be the most clean.
yeah, I think like. I think yeah, that's probably.
Yeah, I see that.
That's funny.
Okay.
So going back to the Halloween, whatchamacallit, traditions, we always watch movies on Halloween night. After trick or treating is done. I've always watched these. I've always watched movies, but the kids didn't join me until they were a little bit older because of the content of the movies.
Some of that shit's fucked up.
Yeah, but I don't watch anything too bad. But like, I have a list of movies that I typically roll through on Christmas or on Halloween. Like I rotate through them over the years.
Yeah.
But I always watch Trick or Treat. Every year I watch Trick or Treat on Halloween. That's our tradition. Abby's like, that's her thing. But I also watch movies like Halloween 3, Return of the Living Dead, Satan's Little Helper, which are all like Halloween themed.
What is Satan's Little Helper about?
Okay, so it's like a low budget POV.
Like Blair Witch style?
No, not like shaky camera. Well, kind of, but not that bad.
Okay.
Like serial killer Halloween movie where this serial killer is dressed up as Satan, and he convinces this little boy this little boy believes that he's Satan, so he's like following him around while the dude kills people, and the kid thinks it's like a joke, like the dude not really killing people until the dude kills his sister, I think it is.
Okay.
It's different. A lot of people haven't heard of it. It's kind of a sleeper, but it's one of my favorites. It's worth checking out.
So you're a big fan of like old school. Do you have like a cutoff of like horror movies? Because I mean, there's a ton of new stuff that comes out, but you don't ever seem to mention that. Do you watch the new stuff?
No, most of the time I don't. I'm notoriously snobby about it. Because I've given a lot of new stuff a chance, and it was garbage. Now there are some new things that I have liked over the last few years. But ultimately, I tend to watch things that are pre-1990, I would say.
Okay. So, because this is a podcast about movies and cooking, do you... there's been a big trend in horror films lately where it's all like supposed to be... I don't know what you call it, realism, where it's not like shot
found footage
professionally. No, not found, I guess. Yeah, that too. But it's
with
all
the shaky camera and stuff, right?
Yeah, kind of like Paranormal Activity, for instance.
Yeah,
is that
that's
garbage?
Like POV/found footage. Yeah, it's shit.
You don't like any of that?
No, none of it. It's not. It lacks depth. It's not even interesting. The actors aren't interesting. The characters aren't interesting. The story's not interesting. Like, old school horror, the characters had character. Like, they had style, and there was charisma about horror films that the stars brought to the screen that you don't have today, that helped the stories immensely, that gave them, I don't know, something else that they don't have today. They're boring. They're just shitty. Now, it's not every single thing, but per capita.
So a lot of people watch horror movies to be scared. That's why I watch them. Why do you watch them?
Well, I want to be...
Obviously, you're not super scared all the time. You're a bit desensitized at this point.
Yeah, now, I want to be scared every time I watch them, but the fact of the matter is I am desensitized by this point. I enjoy a lot of the stories, but not everything. Like, and then some of the things I don't enjoy just the story. I enjoy the sequences, the cinematography, the soundtracks, everything.
Okay.
A movie is an experience for me. It's not just, pictures and dialogue on the screen. Like,
right.
I take everything into consideration, and some movies are definitely more about the experience than they are about the storyline. And that's another thing that the newer movies lack, is just the overall experience. There are some movies that are contrary to that, but overall, no, I don't believe so.
Well, I think that that covers horror films.
Right? Since this is a podcast about movies and cooking.
The DDM Comics Hot Pocket and Jack-O-Lantern podcast.
Exactly.
Alright, I think that's it for us today.
Alright.
So after this, this will be episode 10. Episode 11, we'll jump straight into our trick-or-treat commentary. And I think that's it.
I think that's it as well.
So everybody have a happy Halloween.
Stay safe out there. Check your kids' candy.
Yeah. Go to the rich neighborhoods.
Yeah, definitely. Find out who's handing out king-size candy bars.
Oh, yeah. I love some good king size. Watch out for the razor blades and the pumpkins. Or the apples.
Thank you for listening to the DDM Comics radio program. We hope you enjoyed your time with Mr. D and Danny. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, all at DDM Comics. You can also email any comments or questions to ddmcomics@gmail.com.
Keep an eye out for our new
See you next
movies
time.
and cookbook compendium released this fall.